Good afternoon, dear participants of the conference. I would like to introduce to your attention the report that is dedicated to the application of DNS technologies in telecommunication. We started dealing with this topic quite a long time ago. However, intensively we approached it like a year and a half ago. We came to the conclusion, and we tried to realize it, that DNS technology can be the base for solving and creating telecommunication systems. Systems that are applied in the telephone networks of common use, something that is called BSTN. The first idea that we started to realize was the system of mobile number portability system. Then, when we understood what we have done, we understood that we have created a new system of new class, or a new generation. Why so? I'll be speaking about the following, that the basis for our decision is a platform, a enum registry, and enum registry system. And based on that platform, we created two systems. First system is mobile number portability system. In the given case, I use the names that exist in the field, and IMEI code system. That is IMEI code management system. Whatever is in this system is far not the classical understanding that at some point was introduced in the system. Below you see a reference to a document from GSM Association. Probably it's not a secret for anyone that INAM is used on the level of interoperability between the communication operators, and it's quite a long time and quite successfully. It's a different thing that the core that is being used there is a different domain. Why third generation of the system? I'm not going to stop on the two generations as the time is limited. I can say that our system comes to the following, that it allows, along with everything, to start whatever has been developed on the seventh signalization and partially IP. It enables us directly to come to the following, whichever will be the convergence, when at any time any user in any place using any equipment, using any identifier, can get a service which they want now here from any selected operator. This is kind of a fairy tale, but in reality, this is convergence. And our comes to the following, that they really can allow the user to receive this kind of a service. And it forms a basis for that. If we speak about convergence, here we it from 5 different aspects. But our system looks at problem solving that they take in the following aspects, that is aspects interconnection, service providing, and naming and addressing, NNA. This is the tasks that are in 3 aspects, and this is how we solve the problems that we have in the system. What are the possibilities in INAM technologies? Technologically, it's clear that it's clustering, modularity, flexibility, and adaptation. It's clear that while using EPP protocol, we can apply full localization for all languages that are used in the given space, unified massive data, organizational administrative capacities are in the following, that it comes from They support from all cross-exchange of information. From technical perspective, it's possibilities related to monitoring, logging, and all the rest of the processes. I'm not going to stop on these slides, as here the main idea is the following: that applying application of the given system for the regulators is something that Timothy was talking about. Timothy Denton was talking about the policy of regulating the given field. It enables us to talk about the following: that we allow the regulators to pass from policy so that to forbid Skype, Telegram, and other Viber, and so on and so forth, and to do so that the operators get profit from the aforementioned services. Our systems can and provide this kind of an opportunity. Uniqueness of the system is that it's created in line with all the documents like ITU, GCMA, 3GPP, ETCI, IETF. That is, I want to remind that the first RFC on ENOM happened in 1992. It allows to give harmonized centralized database, and it also allows to launch mechanisms that are oriented on teaching and formation of certain prognosing mechanisms, which allow somehow to prognose what and how some device will behave or a user will behave in a network. I would like to highlight that being the core of this system is ENOM platform. It's a unified core nucleus, and thanks to it we get huge savings in the given systems. Moreover, they do not contain any platforms that assume availability of seventh signalizations like SSL, and consequently implementation of the systems can happen stepwise, starting from any rhythm. That is, we can start implementing the ENOM platform, then IMEI, the MNP, or vice versa. I'm not going to stop on this just because we have limited time. In fact, this is kind of an advertisement. I can say that in these kind of systems, there are no limits as it is DNS. I'll stop on the functional structure of the system. It's obvious that finally we do not leave cut off from the core of SSL that exists with the operators, and consequently these are decisions that are here on the core of the operator's SSL, and it has interfaces that enable to launch all the spectrum of subsystems, in particular subsystem of analysis, central database of decision making, administrative subsystem, system security systems, subsystems of security. In this respect, I was interested in Paul Vix's report and developments that Yapaker has. We will be working with the guys. And consequently, the monitoring and the help desk for the system, audit and analytical part, and I would like to draw attention to the following: that the given systems have non-characteristic for this kind of a type of system, a mobile number portability. I mean, it's called WI service. In terms of IMEI systems, we have the same, in fact, the same kind of a structure. It differs from subsystems and the decision mechanisms and algorithms that are included here, so that it does not look just talk about everything and at the same time about nothing. I included a workflow diagram which shows various cases of using the given system. In the previous slide we saw that it's possible that interface operate through FTPS, through XML, and through web. XML, I mean, here we use EPP protocol, and with if the in this given case we see the diagram of solutions with the operator. There comes working datagram 2, it comes through FTPS, EPP or FTPS. Then comes an interesting working datagram which identifies the work of the user, like customs service in the given system, or such kind of a user as law enforcement. In online mode with access to certain information, and accordingly with certain limitations of powers and access to the given information. Common structure of the system is as follows. It's the cluster of the administrator. The core here is the EPP server, and this is block business logics units. All the data, all the movements in the system are registered and logged. There are 3 levels of interaction or interface. It's through subclient, EPP client, or FTPS client, and with relevant servers that stand on the cluster administrator side. From the right side, the stakeholders of the given system are either authorities, customs service, or tax service, or law enforcement. It might be regulators or other bodies. Thank you. I tried to, in brief, introduce these just because we are lacking time. If you have any questions, I can answer them. Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. I'm not going to. In one case it says web interface, and in one case it says like EPPs. FTPS is transfer of the whole file from the database or from the. I guess for real-time operation it doesn't work either sub real-time or web real-time, or it was not clear. Wherever it's written SOAP, it's written, it doesn't say EPP. EPP is where it is EPP. For online real-time, it's EPP. That is the only real-time of the system. It's web or SOAP, but that's a different question. Web is REST. Web is actually nothing. It's just transport. I would say that as of today, if I'm not mistaken, there are 2 companies that realize this kind of an approach. The first company is New Start, American company. Second company is our Ukrainian company. There was also a third company that realized this kind of an approach, but unfortunately, the circumstances happened that they stopped their operation. New Start lost the license in ENOG. New Start might lose the kind of license, but this kind of an approach was realized. We met Gary Richner, Vice President, and we discussed these kind of issues. Okay, I think that later we can talk about this. I understand that the material is quite is not that vague and very much specific, but at the same time, it should introduce huge interest to the operators at the same time, as it.
У меня вопрос. Если вы опишете в двух-трех предложениях
means to you, how would you describe what 3G means to you? And is it the unification of addressing systems or creating machinery that handles all addressing systems uniformly? Thank you.
Я по-русски отвечу, Тимати.
I'll answer in Russian, okay? 1, 2, 3, can you hear? Do you hear? 3G, third generation, is quite a conditional description, the same as the description of 3D networks, like there are also 4G, 5G networks. We just said we will name it like that. We differentiate by speed. So we are speaking about the networks. But in terms of why third generation and why this kind of description goes there. If we pay attention to the second level, second generation systems, all the parameters that were required to solve the problems for systems in the second level, they have been solved. Theoretically, they have been solved. Practically, amount of problems. In particular, when we took part in the bids for implementation of mobile portability systems, we understood and worked on the following: that not all the systems of the second generation work. So it's not like we can take the number, transfer it, and forget about it. This was the first decision, even without local number portability. Then came the local number portability in fixed networks. When we started speaking about the following, that there are dynamic routing, number portability, and NM characterization, this kind of a feature existed. When we started speaking about the following, that many things should go through geolocation for the rescue services, for medical services. These tasks are not all the systems that can be attached to the second generation, and the second generation cannot solve all of them. This is how it happens. I can't say why it happened that way, because in different countries there are various vendors, and they provide operators such equipment, which in the seventh signalization are able to understand each other in parameters of location number of the seventh signalization. This is this kind of a line that the address at the beginning is written as Huawei from one bit, in Siemens from a different bit it starts, in ZTE it starts from the third bit, and to understand where they come into contact is very difficult without attaching to the national system of the given system to the correct system or certification of the given device. Kind of turns out, looks a simple task, but in many countries it cannot be solved, and it is solved through DNS, through formats that use name authorization pointer in enum. This is why I think that once we introduce DNS system in this, we overstep to a new level of generation, new level of tasks that we are going to solve. The new generation systems. Did I answer your question? Да, полностью. Thank you. Short. I didn't understand the principle of working operation of your system. I am not a specialist of mobile system. You propose instead of telephone number to use DNS IMEI, or just to transfer telephone number through to DNS and then you transfer it to the telephone number? Wonderful question. We use DNS name, that is by accident, by incident, is similar to the telephone number. That is, it's not a succession of numbers, it's a DNS name. For a user, it looks like a telephone number. That's why this system in its base has enum, which operates not only on the level. See, Dmitry came to the mic. I guess what he's going to ask me. It operates not only on the level of the operator. It's already worked out scheme. It works on the level of user and operator, and we are going to attach to the user a subscriber operator, some chain of operators, then goes to operator the subscriber B. What else? You have included everything in DNS. Do you remember what happened with the IDN, with the Chinese idea? Or you were working on VC, on something, right? Why TRF1 is not included here? You know what? I am not that much interested in what was the end of the experiment of including FID into domain names in some this or that region. I'll explain why. I understand it's a region with 1.5 billion population, and the market is quite big and the opportunities are great. When we read that experience and we got familiar with that, and the most important thing is that our colleague asked. They didn't introduce the FID on a specific name. They have indicator RFID. It's indicator RFID. It's not a domain name. Next time we'll invite guys from Cynic. I'm just looking forward to meet guys with Cynic, with Kong, Yao. I contact these guys. Yeah. It will be wonderful to talk to them because, in my opinion, taking this way is a new breath to the domain industry. This is what I announced. We can speak about it in 3 years. Many people who we offer these kind of systems initially are not able to understand what we are offering them. Probably we explain in a bad manner, but when we say that the given system is worth a figure and we cross the zero, then they get interested. I didn't tell you everything. There are certain technological secrets, but we are working on it. Thank you, Yura.